Yo, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Man, they're taking it easy. About to get into this Clippers Nuggets game in a minute.
You already know I'm set on it. I'm set on it. But business is business. Uh,
Gotta finish this first.
Lewis Riddick, man. You sent me a clip yesterday. I watched it. Lewis talked about the line. He was confronted with the line situation with Matthew Stafford.
Hmm.
As you know, and to our viewers, he has been a candidate to take over the GM reins if he gets the job. What you feel about the segment that we watched?
Um, and for those that don't know, Louis Riddick, he was just on one of his regular daily sports news shows, and they asked him, what would he do with Matt Stafford if he got the job, as the GM, because he did an interview for it. And he replied basically that the Lions are good how they are. Basically meaning, you don't need to go and draft a quarterback. You can keep Stafford there and build around him. He pointed out some guys on the offensive line, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow. He said that we had two good running backs. I'm not sure if he was talking about Swift and Kerryon or Swift and Adrian Peterson. I, I don't know which. I was under the impression that we honestly only had one really good running back, but he said basically said he would keep Stafford. Um, Honestly, I think at this point, like we kind of discussed anyway, I think every GM is probably gonna want to keep Stafford. They're probably gonna want Stafford around. That probably at least, I mean, at least for a year. I know that it's been a lot of rumors and reports going out that maybe Stafford might be leaving town, but me personally, I don't think he's going anywhere. But as far as it coming from Louis Riddick, um, it just kind of, again, like even the fact that he said, yeah, they, it seemed like he was pointing out the obvious. It doesn't seem like like most people don't watch the Lions. It seemed like he was just kind of, Taylor Decker was up to be a Pro Bowler. He kind of got snubbed a little bit, kind of not. It's probably a, you know, whoever you want type of thing. But Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow was a Pro Bowler this year, so it looked like he was just looking at the on the ground level. He mentioned we had two good running backs, and we don't have two good running backs. It just kind of showed me that he's probably not ready to be a GM.
I want to intervene. I like him. I was a big guy in his corner, and I just feel like sometimes when you're in that position, you have to be overly optimistic. You have to
Hmm.
be politically correct. He
Yeah.
might be 100% just jiving everybody just to be on some like, yo, I can't just bring down people on national TV and
Right.
say,
Yeah.
yo, I, whether or not he might be throwing a pump fake. He might not even like Stafford, or he might love him. My whole thing is like this. I believe a lot of the GM candidates coming in, they all love Stafford.
Yeah. The that's pretty much. I mean, you have a couple guys out there who are in the mainstream sports business, and they might say a couple things. They might say hey, Stafford's never been. They might have done their research, and they might have said Stafford's never been the guy to go do this. He's never been the guy to go out and do that. It's a few guys out there who know the real behind the scenes stories, but for the most part, most GMs, most coaches, from what they can see, just looking at the stat line, they pretty much like Stafford. He's a quiet guy. He don't get in no trouble. He doesn't start any riffraff. He doesn't even have social media, so um, he kind of shuts up and don't really talk back much and doesn't ask for much either. So
I think
what's not to
exactly,
like?
but I think that a lot of guys have to understand you're taking a job with Stafford as your quarterback, him being on the books, but it has to be brought to your attention that at the end of the year, you're gonna have to sit down with him and his representation and ask him, do you want to still be a Detroit Lion?
Yeah, it should happen. I don't know if it will. I definitely, me personally, I know his wife. I know she would, jump at the chance to, leave Detroit. I know she would. I know she doesn't like being here. You can tell that. Over the course of the years, she didn't got into it with the media. She didn't got into it with the fans. So I mean, she's definitely ready to be, out of Detroit. But yeah, you should have to sit down with him. But what it looks like, what I'm thinking is going to happen, I'm thinking that Stafford wants to be here. I'm thinking he wants to stay in Detroit because who doesn't want to stay? I mean, who wants to uproot to somewhere where somebody's going to give them rules, where they're going to have expectations? If you anywhere else in this league, pretty much, you know, 2 years, say 2 years go by, and you haven't made it to the playoffs, it's going to be some, people are going to start coming down on you. Like, say he played for the Eagles. Eagles fans are far from the Lions fans. The Lions fans they can find something good in the worst situation. They can say, oh, well, he had a bad game because he broke his fingernail. Yeah, that's all that was. He broke his fingernail, so he threw a pick. But you got an Eagles fan, where you go out there and you throw 400 yards and you lose the game. You go out there and throw 400 yards, but say you throw a pick six in the red zone, Eagles fans gonna light you up.
Nah, definitely, definitely. And you know what? I hear it's like I hear in your tone because we've been doing podcasts for a minute that you
Mm.
really feel like Matthew Stafford's coming back, and I think that's where me and you are starting to have a little bit of disagreement because I think
Yeah,
he's gone.
I
This,
know, I know.
I'm telling you, you really think he wants to come back, or he think like nah, like he's gone. You don't want to come back to the situation. This situation here is terrible for you as a quarterback. Why in the world would you want to come back to a new coach, new GM when it's not? You never had anything really successful here except maybe a couple playoff
I
runs.
think you know what. I think you know what it is. I think Stafford is comfortable here. I think he's comfortable.
Ah.
Like he's
That's where
comfortable
we
with.
disagree. I don't think he's comfortable. I don't. I just
Yeah,
think that he's content. What I mean? He's
he's
content.
content with. He's
And he
content with
and he's
going out.
content. Well, I'm gonna say this. He's content and that's because of his nature as a human being. He's a real mild mannered guy. He's not
Yeah,
real confrontational. He doesn't like the uproot. But I'm telling you, when the
yeah.
season's over, him and Kelly will express their plans, and it's not to do with Detroit.
Yeah, that's we definitely disagree because I think he wants to be here. I think the guy I think he wants to be in Detroit. I think he wants to stay in Detroit because I mean I personally me one of the reasons why the few knocks that I have against Stafford is why even come back? He knew. My thing is when he signed that
Yeah.
that contract extension, he could see that the Lions weren't going anywhere, just like I feel like the other players could, just like um, Calvin Johnson could see, yeah, this team isn't going anywhere. Just like Ndamukong and Suh to see, yeah, you know what, this team isn't going anywhere. Those guys. I mean, of course, Suh was able to choose a different franchise. Of course, Calvin he just said, forget it, I'm going to retire. But I look at Stafford like, are you because I don't know if he's playing to win or if he's just playing to throw 400 yards a game. I honestly don't know. I mean, but what it looked like to me, it looked like he's comfortable, and I personally think he's going to be back, and I think he'll be here for a minute. I don't think and I don't believe that the Lions are going to draft a quarterback.
Hey, we're gonna leave that on this note, man. We gonna wrap this one up, but this is definitely going in the archives, and we got more to build on, man. Let's build on this, brother.
Oh, most definitely, most
All
definitely.
right, bro. We out.